Oh, hi, chat. I'm Doug Lilly. I'm the community developer for Rocksmith. You are watching our weekly Rocksmith developer stream. Thank you very much for joining us. Today, we're going to have 3 songs from the heavy metal Swedish group Sabaton. That's coming up, as well as some bonus track and an extra giveaway on top of our normal 3 giveaways of 2 Ernie Ball prize packs and 5 DLC packs for this week. That's all coming up later. Right now, let's take a look at some Sabaton, and we'll come back and we'll play some music.
Communications broken, handles are far away, lost learning the name, learning the fame. They are the Panzer elite, bold to compete, never retreat. God's division, living or dead, always ahead, fed by your dread. The captain has pledged his life. I'll face my fate here. The sound of artillery strike, so fierce the thunder of guns. So come bring on all that you've got. Come hell, come high water, never stop. Unless you are 40-1, your lives will soon be undone. Undone. Baptized in fire, 40-1. Spirits of Spartans, death and glory. Soldiers of Poland, second to none. Drop of the Wehrmacht, brought to our Now that we are at war with the Axis again, this time we know what will come. Aiming for heaven, though serving in hell. Victory's ours, our forces will fall. Through the gates of hell, as we make our way to heaven, to the Nazi lines. Viva Victoria, on the 6th of June, on the shores of Western Europe, 1944. D-Day upon us.
And there you have it. 3 songs from Sabaton available now. To play the first of those songs, who do we have here? Happy Valentine's Day.
Happiest.
Happy.
The happiest of Valentine's Day. Thank you all, by the way, for joining us on this Valentine's Day. I think it's sweet and
That-
romantic.
That we have Sabaton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I've put together some special Valentine's Day packs, or tried to, put out Coldplay, or or just
And this is
power ballads.
Love is
Now we're just saying
Battlefield.
love is a battlefield.
Love is a battlefield.
Yeah, I gotta say this one was just totally non-intentional. I just kind of forgot. I hope that Valentine's Day was a thing this
Yeah.
year, even though I've been really good about it in years past.
Yeah.
So I just decided to prioritize the request app. So you're welcome,
Sure. Well,
watchers of the stream.
that's the most romantic thing is listening to requests.
Yeah.
Is that-
no? The
It's
most
a
romantic thing
Valentine's
is,
Day
by the way,
present
is
for
you
them.
listening to others.
For people who maybe don't watch us every week and don't know you,
Hi.
Brian McCune, you are the manager of musical content.
That's my job.
So this is your doing.
yeah, I managed this.
You do. I just push it out.
Yeah. And then I just talk
Production
about it.
coordinator, Emmy Bautista.
Yeah.
Press the button to go.
Yeah, it's more than just pressing a button.
Yeah.
It's dealing
It's
with
just
multiple
easier.
territories and platforms.
There are several buttons.
It's so much
Let's
easier
be-
to just
let's
press
be
the
honest.
button.
There's several buttons in
Yeah.
sequential order.
And then
Yeah.
pushing buttons where they're necessary.
Yeah.
And then not pushing buttons.
yeah, don't press the red button.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
press it anyway.
What song? What are we opening with?
We're gonna primarily start with Primo Victoria. That's the best I can do right now.
Secondarily,
Primo Valentino.
I don't think that
No,
Primo Victoria.
Primo Victoria. Yeah,
Yeah, which
translates to cousin Victoria in Spanish.
is that?
Um,
what is it in Latin? Does it mean anything in Latin?
I think it means first victory.
First victory. That
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
that sounds right. Okay.
I'm
What do we
gonna go with cousin Victoria.
what do we know about this? What do we have? What are we looking forward to?
Chugga chuggas.
It's a once you hear it and you see the way when you see the sight reading on screen, you'll see that it's straightforward. So like if
Yeah.
you're a beginner bassist or getting up there, it's just a really fun one to play because it's not super complex. It's not like a Rolling Stone
Yeah.
where your fingers are moving back and forth. It's paced. You can do it at 100 speed. You can do it at a slow speed, but it's really good methodical for you.
Same on guitar.
Guitar, a lot of palm mutes. There's some pinch harmonics for those people named Brian Pody out there. In the main riff, which I will not play because I'm not very good at them. I will try, and I will miss all of them, but I will try.
I think trying.
And this solo is pretty good. The first half of the solo is melodic and sustained with vibrato, and then it gets into the dweedly-dweedlies
Dweedlies,
up high up
yeah.
on the neck. So
How's your dweedly?
I'm going to flail about
Sure.
and try to get about 80% of the notes
Okay.
on those dweedlies.
Okay. All right. Well,
That's my plan of attack.
let's take a look at our first song. This is Prima Victoria
First victory, let's go.
from Sabaton.
I dropped my pick
Oh, no.
immediately. All good.
Okay.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. From me to you. Noisy pickups.
Through the gates of hell, as we make our way to heaven, through the Nazi lines. Viva Victoria! Training, oh yes, now we're ready to strike.
V-Day upon us.
Not bad Wheatleys.
Yeah.
got
Well, I really faked it.
Okay. So a couple things right off the bat. Some people were talking about those galloping triplets.
Yeah.
and
Well,
having
yeah,
issues
yeah.
on
They are groups of 3 notes, but they're not triplets.
not.
Triplets would be evenly spaced, so it would be like triplet, triplet, triplet.
So this is just
jump, and because there's that little space dump,
Yep.
dump, there's that gallop, and so it's if we were to notate this with Western notation, it might be an 1/8 and 2/16 if we thought about the quarter note as being here. Jum, jigga, jum, jigga, jum, jigga, jum. Speed that up, and it's William Tell Overture. Bigadum, 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 bum, bum, bigadum, digadum, digadum. So, yeah,
gallops. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, any advice for approaching that sort of?
Play with a lot of tension.
Make sure you're really stressed out the whole
Make sure
time.
You're really stressed out.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's going to be the key. Is to try to not hold any tension in your hand. Try not to over press with your fretting hand, or try not to do anything really crazy with your strumming hand, because your strumming hand needs to be relaxed enough to keep the palm mutes audible, but not totally dead. And then you're smiling because we've been going over this together. And
Somebody in the chat was talking about this. This isn't just for me.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
isn't an extra lesson that I'm trying to eke out of you.
yeah, and then keep the picking motions small and economical. Like just like try only move enough to make that rhythm really come out. So I probably turned down all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not moving my hand that much, and with that, all that overdrive distortion, it'll come through. So yeah, try to keep it dry.
Okay.
Yeah, but be relaxed.
All right. And we were talking about. So I introduced them Sabaton as a heavy metal outfit. There's been some discussion about if you're into labels. If you're into labels,
I don't think people who are
They
into
get-
metal are into labels at all.
no, there certainly aren't dozens of subgenres
Yeah.
of metal. Let's skip it then.
No, this is
That's-
just. Yeah, I think this
No.
is what's like historical metal. This is like
Historical metal,
They
yeah.
exclusively sing about historical events. And
Yes. Yes.
wartime things.
Yeah, and they sort of get. I believe they get grouped with power metal a lot because of the sort of bombastic nature of the song construction.
Yeah,
and
I mean-
the arrangements.
Yeah, maybe it might get. When I think power metal, though, I also think about that. To me, says something about the speed, and this isn't
Okay.
necessarily speedy.
Right.
It's
It's very-
very. I wouldn't say it's lumbering, but it's
It's
driving,
like
but
a
it's
marching.
it's incredibly steady.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's so many different subgenres. I'm sure I made someone mad just by calling this historical metal, because maybe it's not precise
That's
enough.
probably
Or
the least
there might-
offensive thing you could have called it.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
I
But it
could have
is.
called
Historical,
it.
it is that is. I mean, it is metal,
Yeah, I could have called it not music, but it is music.
but it is
I
music.
think that would be offensive if I
Yeah.
called it not music.
You
It
did.
is music. Yeah. I mean, it's like like how Amon Amarth is their Viking metal. This is their thing, and it's.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. It's like people are using music and songwriting to also share whatever it is they're passionate about or interested in, and
Yeah.
like I think that's a super interesting thing, and the people are as diverse as there are.
People are as
Blades of grass.
diverse as
I don't know. I don't know where I was going with
as
that.
people
But
are.
anyway, but like, you
Yeah.
get to see like people's interests come through in
Yeah.
lots of different forms, be it Vikings or history
Or Monomarth.
or whatever, or Valentine's Day music.
Yeah.
Could have been Death Rock.
So yeah, feel free to throw in some Valentine's Day metal into the request app.
Sure.
Maybe it'll
You
happen.
never know.
Maybe it'll happen next year.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know what's
I'm
going to
sure
happen?
love metal is a thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
It has to be.
I mean,
Isn't that what a ballad is?
yeah. We had the power ballads.
Yeah. Him.
Him.
Yeah, the band Him. Yeah.
Yeah.
HIM.
Yeah. All caps.
You just said emo. Emo is its own thing. Okay, yeah. So, all right.
There's
so
a lot of chatter coming from behind the
yeah, we're
behind
getting
the
some
cameras
peanut
right now.
gallery. So I think
Yeah.
that's a good enough
Yeah.
time to.
Yeah. So
segue.
hey, how would someone out there like to win an Ernie Ball prize pack?
That
Because we
sounds
have
fun.
one.
I won't.
We have one. Well, then
Could just
you're
jump you.
you're ineligible. I'm pretty sure you're ineligible.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, you could always enter the raffle.
I could always try.
So if you want a chance, if you do want a chance to win one of two Ernie Ball prize packs that we're giving away. One right now, one later on in the stream. Make sure you listen to what UB Jurassic is saying in the chat and follow the instructions so that you can have a chance to win this prize pack. The prize pack includes 2 sets of guitar strings, 1 6-string set for your guitar, 1 4-string set for your bass. It's got 12 medium picks for your guitar from Ernie Ball. Plus, we're going to throw in 3 pink Skullboy picks from Rocksmith. You will get 1 black Ernie Ball strap and a package of Ernie Ball Wonder Wipes, as well as 1 Ernie Ball peg tuner. So make sure you listen to the instructions from UB Jurassic, a.k.a. Brian, the Rocksmith community manager. He's there in chat with you. He's a nice guy. And if you have any other questions, maybe not while the raffle's going on, but whenever there's not a lot of raffling sort of filling up the chat space, if you have a question for us here, let Brian know. Let UB Jurassic know, and he will get those questions to me, and we might answer them here. We'll try to answer as many as we can. And if you do win the Ernie Ball prize pack, make sure you listen to the whisper from UB Jurassic so you can get him your full name, your shipping address, and your telephone number. We do need all 3 pieces of information in order to ship out these prizes. That's your name, your shipping address, and your telephone number. Coming up, we're going to have some more music from Sabaton, as well as a bonus track from a band that isn't Sabaton. We're going to have another Ernie Ball giveaway coming up later, and we're going to give away 5 copies of this week's DLC, as well as you may have seen on the old social medias. Media is its own plural. It's medium. Media is the plural. You may have seen on social media. Look, if you're on Twitter, you probably saw we're going to give away a few copies of Galacticon. That's coming up later. Make sure you watch. This is now a permanent fixture here on the Rocksmith stream set, as far as I'm concerned. Who do we have? Are we still tuning? Maybe. We're still tuning. Hey, let's watch some tuning. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Tuning. Joining us and concentrating really hard on what they're doing. Anthony Martinez on bass and Greg Studley on guitar.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
I think I already asked you that. That's fine. I'm just going to keep asking you until you finish tuning.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Excellent.
I might, the weather's maybe affecting me, but I'm okay.
Would you say you're under it?
I am, figuratively right now. Literally, a lot of the rest of the day, I'm under it. So
I got nothing for you, man. I tried.
You're all safe. I guess you two are the ones who have to worry. It's probably fine. Ghost Division.
Indeed.
Was this one of your note tracks?
It was.
So how was that? What was that situation like?
Oh, it's a fun one. This is a high energy song.
Yeah.
Very, very fun to play.
Yeah.
There's not a guitar solo in it, but there is a synth solo. Talking to you. There is a synth solo that is actually very melodic, very cool. So what I did is I went ahead and transcribed it for guitar, put a cool tone to it, and it's right there in the lead part. A lot of fun to play.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Every time I have the chance to apply a synth tone to a guitar, I'm going to take it, and I'm going to like it. It's a thing. It's a thing for me. So
I call it synthesis when you put the two together.
That's a good name for it.
Keep it together.
You did.
Keep it
together. Everything is great. So I think let's just play the song.
Let's do it. Let's play.
Yeah, let's take a look. And so synth solo, no guitar solo.
No guitar solo, but a very very cool synth solo. Yeah.
One leader.
I can't tell you.
Sure. It's a lot of fun. I liked how the bass sort of rhythmically interplayed with the synth solo.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun to watch. I hadn't noticed. I hadn't seen the two parts side by side like that. It's fun. I like that. So you note track this one. So this is obviously it's not a march, but it still gives that impression of militaristic movement.
Yeah.
What are some of the ways that they do that musically?
Oh, that they're actually creating that kind of sound in the music?
Because it sounds like, even if there were no lyrics in any of these songs, they would sound like they were meant for like a battle.
I think part of it is actually that 16th feel in the guitar line. That which kind of has a similar aspect to like a gallop. I mean, it's not a gallop, but
like
but
in that it drives it forward.
yes,
So it's
because that
it's like
16th
the
keeps
cavalry
pushing things
movement
forward.
of the-
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that has a lot to do with why it's good. I mean, and
Yeah.
lyrically, it certainly is kind of conveying that throughout the entire song, with the exception of the synth solo.
Right. Yeah.
But all the rest of the time, yes.
And some people were talking about the PRS. I think that this was already answered in the chat, but they said they hadn't really noticed anybody else playing that PRS, and that is because
It's mine.
that's yours. That's yours. You don't let anyone.
No. And anyone's welcome to use it. I never tell
and
people
you
they can't
hate-
use it, but I have become especially fond of these over the last few years.
And
Yeah.
Greg Studley hates sharing. That's what we all learned today.
What? You don't even give me a retort on that.
Nope, no time. Gotta
It's
move
just a
on.
fact.
Just kidding. No, go ahead. Hit me.
I got
with your
nothing.
words.
Dude, I'm down for the count, man. Okay, that's it.
Okay. Anthony Martinez. What was going on there?
A fun bass part, pretty straightforward. Supporting part. Yeah.
You were still crushing it, according to the chat.
Oh, well, thank you
Yeah.
very much,
Yeah,
Chad.
yeah.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun. I really like this band. I hadn't really heard a lot of their stuff before we started working on it.
Yeah.
But it was a pleasure to play test, and I appreciate the simplicity of the bass part because I feel like that's what makes it fun. You can, listen to, what's happening on guitar and on synth, and on occasion read the lyrics, which are a lot of fun.
And I think a lot of people, myself included, when they saw that this pack was coming, they assumed the tuning was going to be down in the at
Sure.
least D range, if not C standard range.
They use an interesting tactic to combat that.
Okay.
To get that lower sound inside of what's in normal tuning. So a lot of times when, in fact, maybe not even a lot. I think almost if not every time that there's a power chord that's normally placed with the root on the A string,
Yeah.
what they're doing is catching the fifth underneath it. So instead of just these two notes, they're also including this low fifth underneath. And so when your D5 gets some extra depth in it.
Gotcha.
And they're doing that throughout the song.
And that's-
So
is
that
a
is a
sort
way
of
to get-
inversion.
Is that what?
Is that a sort of inversion, or just a
No,
different?
no,
way
you
of
can
doing
call
it?
it an inverted chord. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah, 'cause-
technically, if I labeled something like like a D over a, D5 over A.
Okay.
But technically, that is an inversion because you're taking another note of the chord and putting it on the bottom.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yes.
Cool. Thank you both.
Of
very much.
course.
Anything
Thank
else
you.
you wanted to say?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, good.
all I
Thank you. Right now, what are we doing? We're going to take a look at video
Cool.
right now, as we usually do at this time in the stream. This one comes from friend of Rocksmith, Brennan Small, who we'll be hearing some more about pretty soon. But we'll watch this ad, and while this is going on, if you want a chance to win one of 5 copies of this week's Sabaton song pack on Steam, listen to what UB Jurassic is telling you in the chat, and you can walk away with one of 5 copies of that. And we'll be right back with more music.
Learn a song.
Rocksmith is the fastest way to learn to play guitar. Plug in any electric guitar or bass into your PC or game console and choose from more than 700 songs. Learn to play in 60 days.
And welcome back. If you're just joining us, my name is Doug Lilly. I'm the Rocksmith community developer, and you are watching the Rocksmith developer stream. We do this every week. We take a look at that week's DLC this week. We're looking at the 3-song Sabaton song pack. It's their first time in the Rocksmith library, and we are happy to have them. We're also, I guess we're celebrating Valentine's Day mostly by saying Happy Valentine's Day. I drew a picture of a heart with an arrow going through it. I felt that was pretty festive, so I'm gonna stick to that. That'll be good. Coming up, just a moment, we are going to look at a song that isn't from Sabaton, but that you might like. I like it. I think people like the song. It's pretty popular. The next track. Oh, are we? We still need to do some tuning, don't we? Or are we good? We're all good. No. Okay. Definitely need to tune. Okay, so I'm going to talk. Let's look at some chat. Oh, hey. We have a question. Actually, there is a question from Twitter that I'm not going to answer, that I'll let one of these guys answer whenever we get to see them. On Twitter, at BlackLightning5 asked, if the No Way shows a fret hand mute on an open string, how is it executed? So maybe we can talk about that in the chat until we can get an answer from one of the staff here. But, we can look at him. This is always fun to watch. Calibration is important. I think people should know how heavily or lightly to calibrate their guitars. What say you? The way you're going to play it. Okay, so we have no mic. I'm on our tuning people.
No, we do.
Oh, we do. We do have a mic on them.
No.
No?
I don't
refuse. Okay. The answer was, when you calibrate, you want to play about as loudly as you're going to play for the song.
Yeah, I mean,
strum reasonably.
You're not trying to outpower the calibration.
Yeah, I've seen people really hammer on those strings. That's not the way to do it unless that's how you play.
Right. But you are trying to set the expectations of the software.
Yes, you're really just telling Rocksmith how loud you're going to be so that they can listen to how loud you're going to be.
And when you're playing on bass, when you're calibrating bass,
same thing.
And I see a lot of people strumming. They grab a pick, or they'll just run their fingers across all the strings.
Yeah, I mean, really, you can't calibrate too loud.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
Because then it'll turn your output volume down.
Well, it's better than calibrating too quietly.
Okay.
Then you'll be too loud.
Okay.
But you get more gain.
It's true.
Brian Pody, David Stevens, welcome to the stream.
Thank you.
Well, suddenly. Hi. Brian Pody, you did not note track this.
Yeah,
you did note track this. This is why
the whole
you
point.
Picked it. Yeah,
that's why there's 5 arrangements.
There was a long conversation about this. 5 arrangements. We are going to, well, not we. These two fine folk are going to play Mermaider from Death Clock, which is tuned down pretty substantially. This is in
C standard, yeah.
C standard, and you're going to be playing the alt lead and alt rhythm.
Yeah, hopefully we stay in tune, considering we had to walk around the block in the rain.
Yeah. So there may be some issues with the weather and heat changes affecting the strings. So why are you each playing the alt paths?
So the standard lead and rhythm paths kind of fit what you would probably expect in Rocksmith in terms of I'm going to play the lead, so I'm going to be playing all those high parts that I hear. And then the alt leads are more representative of how they actually play the parts live.
Okay. That's
and there's some particularly for the rhythm, there's some sections that aren't in one path that show up in the other. So
okay, cool. Well, let's take a look at Mermaider from Death Clock.
David's playing the
I need more whale noises. That's what I need. I need stereo.
Does
whale
that make
noises.
this a white whale?
Oh, in this context, I guess it does. I love it.
It's
I
a
love it.
snow falcon. Oh no, snowfall. Not to be confused with the snow falcon, which I dearly miss. We had to give it back.
Yep.
Yeah. But this. So you know track this one. This was from the second
one. Yeah.
Death Clock
Yeah.
song pack. We're keeping sort of along with what we've been playing. We're still using that galloping sensation.
It's all gallops today.
Now, somebody pointed out that you were going with a sort of full alternate picking. So you would end each one in a different position than where you started, if that makes sense. So check-a-chat.
I don't know. I just do it.
I watched. They were right. You did.
Sure.
You felt. But I think you switched at the end so that you were always ending up back in your starting position.
That sounds right.
Yeah. I guess you don't have a comment on that since you didn't realize you were doing it until
I got galloping under my fingers like when I was 14. And
okay. Well, this seems like a good stream to talk about galloping. What's how did you do it? How did you do it? Just galloping. How did you master? How did you break galloping?
I think it's just sort of in the blood if you're a metalhead.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Metallica, Randy Rhoads, Iron Maiden.
Yeah, Maiden.
Pick one.
That's the one, I guess. If you're gonna learn galloping.
I mean, for me, it's down, up, down, and then there's the gap.
Yeah.
Right. So that gap is your upstroke that you're not actually hitting the string.
Right.
But if you think about it too hard, you're just going to trip yourself up. Just do it.
That's true. I guess that whole thing about like staying relaxed and not getting too in your head while you're doing it. I had another question. I don't think it was in this. This is a question from Twitter that I mentioned earlier. Did you actually answer it?
I don't know.
I don't know. So on Twitter, Black Lightning 5 asked if the note wave shows a fret hand mute on an open string, how is that executed?
It's still just a fret hand mute. So a lot of times, the thing is, it doesn't really matter where you play it. So for us, making that fret hand mute just a bunch of open strings means we can use it anywhere. And it doesn't have to be anchored in a specific place, and it's not giving you a fingerprint. Because if we take this shape and we say, play this as a fret hand mute, it's going to give you this fingerprint, and that's probably not what you actually want to play. You just want to play that. So doing it as all open strings means you don't have a fingerprint, and we can just kind of take that block and move it anywhere.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of us saying, hey, don't play this shape that's coming up or that you just played, but also it streamlines the process a little bit.
Right.
In that it's then this movable block that we can put in.
So just it's a variable sort of situation with that. That's like the harsh white X on the open string.
Yeah, it's the brighter white X.
Yeah.
Right.
It's harsh. It's not. Maybe it's harsh. It's harsher than.
Adjust your contrast.
Yeah. Right.
But it's also just a matter of you don't have to play the fret hand mute like with a certain hand shape.
Right.
Yeah, it's looking for the percussion of it, and not necessarily the pitch.
Yeah, if we're talking detection, it's just an onset.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And we have are you set up for the other thing?
No.
No? Okay. Well, let's talk about the other thing in this camera. Hello. So that song, Mermaider, is from the Death Clock 2 song pack, which Death Clock co-created by friend of Rocksmith, Brennan Small. Brennan Small also has created another franchise called Galacticon. It's sort of a multimedia situation where you have CDs/albums along with comics and some really cool 360 videos that you can watch that all sort of feed in to each other. Very soon on today's stream, we are going to give away 3 copies of Galacticon Volume 1, which is from Albatross Publishing. That's going to come really soon. The thing that I was just asking Pody about is in that comic there is a character, a robot sidekick, who speaks in guitar tab. And there are instructions at the beginning of this book on how to set up your gear, your rig, and perform the voice of this robot companion. So we thought we might sort of workshop some of those voices, some of those phrases and ideas, and see what sort of sounds this character might make. I'd show you, but I can't show you the interior. I shouldn't. I don't want to. I'm not going to show you the interior of the book. That's for you to see on your own. I will show you the cover, though. The cover's pretty. I like it. Are we all good? Oh.
Well, I can't hear my guitar. It should be on 5.6.
Live streaming. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well,
what subs is it assigned to? Is it going to the master and the group?
Look behind the curtain. Well, here, listen behind the curtain. I guess it's still just on me, and it's just the camera is watching me watch you. So instead of doing that, let's go ahead and run the giveaway now. This right now we're going to give away 3 copies of Galacticon Volume 1. And you can find out more about Galacticon. You can there's some guitar music. I am still going to continue on with this raffle. If you want more information on Galacticon, or if you want to pick up a copy, if you happen to not win this, or you want to pick up albums, you can find the comics at your local comic store or galacticon.com. That should be in the chat pretty soon. You can find videos, the comics, and music there. And right now, we're going to listen to the voice of a robot. So yeah, they're all little snippets. Did you have any of them, or do you need to see some of them?
See, I sent you a message on link, but I don't know if you were online.
Oh no, my messaging broke while I was up here. I've been up here for like 3 hours now. So did you need some of those?
Yeah.
I can pull them up.
I mean, there's one that I remember that was like... some of the others...
That's a good robot noise.
Yeah.
Just
You just ran over the robot cat.
I mean, I'm making awful noises. I tried to see if I could find Brendan Small actually like making any of these noises and making them not sound awful. Instead of just me making awful sounds. But the awful sounds are also super fun.
I hid the pictures from myself.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did. I might be able to find them. So yeah, what situation might this sound come in?
I make that sound all the
narrative.
time. I haven't read the comic.
Okay, you just read the.
I just looked at
what I like put in front of your face.
Yeah, Doug took pictures of the tabs and sent them to me. Where'd the comic go?
You had it behind me. Yeah, I had it. I have the comic.
We'll find
Let's make this complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will be.
That's why I'm here.
Music stand.
Terrible, complicated noises.
The robot isn't on every page.
So.
And some are just, a lot of it's like what in the video game industry would be called barks, I guess, where it's more like reactions and quick little snippets, just sounds. They're in here.
Doug just can't find them.
It's live. This is what happens when I try to do this off the cuff. There's one.
Oh.
This can't possibly be weird out of context.
Yeah. But if you win a copy of Galacticon, which again this is going to stay here, if you win a copy, then you can read the tabs.
Oh, my favorite one was just this.
Yeah, there was no notation, just the whammy. So it does involve distortion, a whammy pedal.
Yeah, I mean nobody can actually see what I'm doing here because it's on my laptop. But so my chain is a compressor that I'm not actually engaging right now, a wah, and a whammy. And I'm kind of cheating, which nobody can see because nobody can see my feet. But usually you would have 2 pedals. But I just have 1 pedal. And since I'm in software, I just have the wah and the whammy both assigned
to the same
expression pedal.
Oh, yeah.
Which makes my life a little easier and I don't fall over.
It's like magic.
Which is
right,
good.
Yeah, there's a warning that you you should sit when you perform this because it does expect you to have 2 pedals.
Yeah, yeah.
And that could be dangerous, potentially, if you're not.
And on the amp side, it's just, lots of gain. For me, it's like a Boogie Mark IV model, just like cranked.
Yeah, yeah.
And then,
Yeah. so if you win this and you happen to give this a shot, let us see the results. Because this is like I also looked.
Video.
I looked for video of Brennan Spall kind of performing the voice. Yeah. And I could not find any.
I couldn't even find other people doing
some different interpretations.
Yeah,
of this.
Please do a better job.
And the book came out pretty recently. It was in 2018.
2018. Yeah. So it hasn't been out that long.
Are we sure that the robot's not swearing?
It probably is.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
There's some swearing back at the robot from what I saw. So
yeah.
So some of it is pretty expletive.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much for demonstrating.
You're welcome.
The robot voice. Actually, there was another question that you seem like you might have a good answer to.
If they want to know how to make terrible sounds, that's why I'm here.
Well, they want to know if you want to emulate some of the tones from Rocksmith in a live setting with pedals. They want to know sort of what you're looking at gear-wise.
Oh, they want to know like what in Rocksmith corresponds to what in real life.
Let's say what's sort of the minimum, like if you wanted to start playing.
Well, you need for the lead tone, you need that.
Okay.
On 10. God, I mean,
there was an encore stream from West
with Brendan.
Yeah, where he talked about pedals. So that might be a good way to answer.
Yeah, it's definitely a good primer.
Yeah.
There's so much gear.
You can also just run Tone Designer and run your audio out to a PA.
You could, yeah.
You have options, I guess, is what we're saying here. Full
But yeah, I mean, if there's something specific.
I think in the forums too, there's some discussion on this, or has been over the years.
Most certainly. Yeah. There's a gear subforum in our forums, and there's a lot of gear discussion. Pretty much anywhere people are talking about Rocksmith, gear will come up.
Yeah, and if if you hear a tone in the game or something that catches your fancy, throw it in the forum, ask a question.
Right.
We have
also,
an excellent community that all want to jump in and help.
Yeah. If you are like, oh, I really like this artist and I like their tone in the game. If you try to find their signal path online, which usually you can, that's most likely what's replicated in the game.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of research that goes into making those tones correct.
Right. So I guess starting with the song and then finding what that player uses.
Yeah, you just sort of reverse engineer.
Sounds good. Good. Thank you both very much. Right now, hopefully somebody has won that copy of Galacticon Volume 1. In case you missed it, if you like Sabaton, you might be into some of this other music. We mentioned Amon Amarth earlier on in the stream. Amon Amarth, not power metal, if that is what you consider Sabaton. They are also not technically Viking metal, which is its own genre, but as far as what I've been told, again, if you're into labels, Amon Amarth is Viking-themed death metal. Is that right, David Stephen? Sounds right. Sounds good. It's a thing that I've heard. So Amon Amarth, some death metal with Vikings. So they also sing tales of battles, but these battles tend to involve gods and creatures, not necessarily as strictly historical as you might find with Sabaton, but there is a sense of narrative, a sense of that flow within those songs. The Amon Amarth song pack came out around Halloween, actually on Halloween of 2017, and that included Death in Fire, Guardians of Asgard, The Pursuit of Vikings, Twilight of the Thunder God, and War of the Gods. Along with Amon Amarth, there was also the metal mix, which came out pretty recently. Last May was when the metal mix came out. Not our first metal song pack, but our first, I guess, metal variety pack. Well, it's a metal mix. I guess it's all there in the name. And that one included 3 songs, each of which were a different subgenre of metal. that had Dark Throne, which is black metal with Transylvanian Hunger. It is spelled like the way it's shown on that card. That is not a typo. That is how it is spelled in the song, so we're sticking with it. Morbid Angel with Immortal Rites, some more death metal. In Testament, some pretty classic thrash. That was Souls of Black on that one from 1990. Coming up, we're going to have our final song from Sabaton, and we have one more giveaway that we're going to have at the end of the stream. Right now, I would like to welcome my two very special guests. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, you too.
Hi, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Andrew Levin.
What's up?
Brian Chu. Note Trackers.
Yep. That's
That's us. And are we doing the standard lead and bass load out here?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Whoa.
So, and was this one of your?
No, it's a
you jumped on
Sam
this one.
joint.
Same joint. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And this is the last one. So this is 40-1.
Yeah.
Some interesting, an interesting tidbit, I guess, if you want a little look behind the curtain. Hopefully, I can talk about this. It was at some point mistyped internally as the words 40-1 because the file name couldn't have the colon in it. So that almost went out, but we fixed it at the last moment. I didn't have anything to do with it. I just heard about it. But yeah, file names important if you have characters that aren't usually seen in song titles.
Cool.
That's fun for me.
Yep. Fascinating.
Yeah, yeah. So what do we? I assume you've played this.
Yes.
Okay, good. I mean, I not everyone does.
Yeah.
Some people.
Yeah. I mean, I like to do that because I don't like making a fool out of myself, which has happened. Yeah. Yeah. In this tune, things to watch out for. A lot of 16th notes, palm muted.
Okay.
Keep your wrist relaxed. Do not. Do not tense up on your wrist because, man, you will not make it through this tune. And it's something I had to remind myself of. I was going through it, and I'm like, and then I had to just be like, okay, just breathe. You got this. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's some more, guitar solo. This one does have a guitar solo.
Okay.
No synth solo.
Okay. Okay. And anything we should watch out for with the bass?
It's mostly the same thing. A lot of 16th notes. So play with a pick. I think he plays with a pick to get that really nice attack. It's a sharper attack.
Yeah.
And you just get a nice crunch playing.
Okay. Okay.
I kind of wanted to address the pedal thing, the
Please do.
question from earlier.
Yeah.
The pedals that you buy are very dependent on the style of music that you're playing and the sounds that you're going for.
Yeah.
Are you trying to get a really great guitar tone that sounds like a guitar, or are you trying to get some wacky effects? Totally different thing. It is a rabbit hole. You can spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on pedals. I would probably have a lot more money if
you didn't
pedal
have all these
manufacturers didn't exist.
But you wouldn't have many pedals.
Yeah.
Which I think is what's important here.
Yeah. So, cool resources, Pedal Boards of Doom. You can check out Pedal Boards of Doom.
Okay. And we have asked we've asked the people on social media, on Facebook and Twitter, in the past. We've asked them to show us their pedal boards.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to see what people think is necessary and what they construct it.
Yeah.
One time I saw a pedal board on the internet that just had 8 metal zones on it. It's kind of crazy.
Did you hear the recording from that?
No.
They posted a video.
Did the last metal zone actually loop back into the first one, and it was just this self-contained?
Feedback loop.
That's what I need.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
And that's what you need for this song, because this is super heavy.
It's a perpetual motion machine.
Yeah.
In action. All right, we're gonna play 40-1 with Andrew Levin and Brian Sheen from Sabaton. Are we right back? Well, we're here. I'll be right back. They'll be here. Yeah.
If that
Great
isn't
job.
epic, I don't know what is.
Right, right. So they're talking about this in chat, but in case there's somebody listening who maybe isn't reading chat, did you know Sabaton has a history-based channel on YouTube?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty new. I think they launched it maybe 2-3 weeks ago.
Oh,
But
cool.
it's just Sabaton history, and I think somebody can correct me, but I think they mostly they make videos and talk about the history behind specific songs that they play.
I would totally watch that.
Yeah,
That's
well,
pretty
you
cool.
can. It's on YouTube.
I'm going
It's
to.
pretty- you can go there right away, right after this. Right
Yeah.
after this.
Mhm.
Cool. All right. So anything we wanted to say about that? Looking back.
If there's a lot of fifth fret notes in here, if you replace them with the respective open strings, you can do this.
Oh yeah,
while
while
you
you play.
play.
Yeah, just open it up.
Like that, and that's more rock and roll.
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
yeah.
it's cool. I
Objectively.
actually messed up a couple times, and I played the wrong open string.
Well, see, that's not.
I was just trying
that's
to rock
also
out.
that's pretty
Huh?
also pretty rock and roll. Yes,
Yeah, it's true.
every now and then.
Yeah.
You mess up a note.
Throw one of those.
Yeah.
Sometimes they turn into happy accidents,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that's how songs are workshopped.
Anything else? It's fun. It's fun to play.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
really, really fun to play.
great.
There's something really satisfying about playing 16th notes and seeing them all like light up when you hit them on the
Yeah,
screen. You're like,
right.
yeah, doing all this.
Thank you very much for joining us, and we are going to go ahead and I guess take off here. We have one more Ernie Ball prize pack to give away, so make sure you listen to UB Jurassic in the chat if you want a chance to win that. It's going to come with 2 sets of strings, 1 6-string set, 1 4-string set, and a black Ernie Ball guitar strap, 12 Ernie Ball picks, 3 pink Skullboy picks, an Ernie Ball peg winder, and the Wonder Wipe set. I want to say thank you again to Sabaton, and thank you to Brennan Small for letting us give away these Galacticon comics and letting us play some Mermaider earlier on. We will be back with you next week with a new song pack. What could be in that song pack? I was going to say I have no idea. I do have an idea. I know what it is, but I can't tell you yet. But if you want a little bit of an insight, if you want a clue as to what's coming, make sure you check out our forums tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I believe UB Jurassic will be posting a clue that is probably coming from Rolling Stone 222. That will all be in our forums under the DLC subforum. And you figure out a puzzle and get an idea of what's coming next week. And then you can talk about it and be excited about it. And I'll be excited that you're excited because that makes me excited. Thank you for joining us. If you want to check us out on Facebook, we are Rocksmith on Facebook. On Twitter and Instagram, we are at Rocksmith Game. Once again, I'm Doug Lilly, community developer for Rocksmith. Thank you for watching the dev stream from Rocksmith, and we will see you very soon. Take one more look at Sabaton on the way out. Bye.